Say alright. So first and foremost, I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. We say that our apostles are endless, our great most rule well, our teachers are apostles in the truth. And we say salutations, so they are come out to the push the truth and say day in and day out, and no continue season or season, we say shalom. Once again, going into a little video here, and most likely this particular type of video, I might do it into a series, because it's just it's something that comes to the spirit. It is basically while reading, right? While reading, you'll bounce up, especially in the New Testament, right? While reading the accounts of the Messiah, you'll bounce up countless times that he quoted from the Old, that he quoted from the Old Testament, right? And we'll come to the spirit to say, this to do a series, do a particular set of videos where the Lord quoted from the Old, and find the precept that go with it, and show that he quoted from there. Because in modern society and in today's teaching, you don't have to use the Old. That is what the churches wanted to believe. You don't have to use the Old not important, this and that, and how many other forms that they tell you not to use the Old. But really and truly, even the Messiah himself was quoting from the Old. Even when they continue reading and they continue going in, which right now they're thinking one of the videos that I would do would go to the part where they was stoning the when they were stoning the Lord, and he quoted from the Old there as well. And you could see that even the Israelites back then, they themselves then wasn't studying the Old, But again, just stating that the Messiah himself was quoting from the Old, and many script, as I say, while reading, yesterday I was reading a bunch of precepts that you see where the Yahushai he was talking to someone and he mentioned things from the Old. He said go back and look. And as I say, you're studying, you're reading all these things that you do, you would see it, and it's in the spirit to say, well, you know what? Do a series on it while you read, while I'm studying, and find a particular scripture that I feel that I could add it to this series. As I say, right now I'm a spirit that I'm a spirit that a particular one that I know I want to do upon, that I have to do it upon. And yeah, I would do videos, as I say, this most likely this will be a series. I might title the videos he quoted from the Old. He quoted from the Old, and continue, just while, as I say, while reading, studying and so forth. Well, I find one that I say, I could do a video, I could add it to the series, I would do that. Because it has so much accounts that where he quoted from the Old. You understand? Now I'm gonna jump to a particular scripture here. This is Isaiah chapter 28. I'll go straight to the point. Straight to the point. Say this Isaiah 28 verse 9. It say, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. Because then at the end of the day, when there's a baby in this thing, you have to be fed with milk. You understand? You have to be fed milk, and then you'll go to the meat, right? And the milk is like these particular videos and so forth, right? So you say, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. They say, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. So that is how you break down the scriptures and so forth. Here, precept upon precept. So you might jump to this precept, and then you might go to a precept. You might jump to a precept in Mark. You might go to a precept in the precept that line up, but it might be in Isaiah to coincide with each other. Then you might jump to Esdras. You understand? You might go to Maccabees. Precept upon precept. But if it's one thing that all the precepts line up, they line up with each other, with each other. They show you the perfect account that was given. You understand? All these precepts and all these things that were written, they bear witness with each other, right? So it say, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. It say, here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to his people. Alright, we jump to verse 13. It says, but the word of the Lord was unto them, but the word of the Lord was unto them, precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little, that they might go and fall backward and be broken and snared and taken. Right? Right, so yeah. So it's a precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Right? Right? So yeah. So it's just to show that that the way you go into the scriptures, the way you read the scriptures, you break down the doctrines, like, you know, it might, as I say, you might start with this particular scripture, but then you might go back and something you mentioned, you might, same way with Yahushua, same way doing a series, you'll see where the Lord mentioned something and you had also go back to a precept in the old. You understand? So it's precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, right? So so jumping into the first one, I was reading Mark the other day, right? Mark, and this chapter 1 verse 1, it have two pieces where you mention things from the, I shouldn't say two, but where you mention things from the old, but to show you that the teachings of today, right? They don't want to teach about the law. They tell you the law done away with. They tell you that the law was something that in the past, that was in the old, and when the new come about, it was done away. You know, all you hear those kind of breakdowns from the churches, from pastors, you know, from people that saying the old done away with. You understand that they don't need to use the old, but if it's something that they would use, you know what the churches would go back to. They would go back to tithes. They would go back to the tithes law. But where would they find the tithes law? It have to be in the old. You have to go to Deuteronomy to find the tithes law. You understand? But they would use. But you know what? Everything else don't count. Everything else in the old don't count. You understand? Hey, this place, yeah, right? So this is Mark 1 verse 44. It say, and he said unto, not verse 44, I'll go to verse 39. It say, and he preached in their synagogues throughout all Galilee, and cast out devils. And there came a leper to him, beseeching him and kneeling down to him, and saying unto him, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean. So a leper, now if somebody reading that who was told before, why a leper, why would somebody with leprosy come to the Lord? Because when they go to the law, it tell you why. You understand? What being a leper was unclean, right? And we would go to that. Alright, it say, and Yahushua moved with compassion, put forth his hand and touched him, and said unto him, I will be thou clean. Right? So Yahushua, with the power that the Lord had, he removed the leprosy. Right? And as soon as he had spoken, immediately the leprosy departed from him, and he was cleansed. Right? And he straightly charged him, and forthwith sent him away, and said unto him, see thou say nothing to any man, but go thy way, show thyself to the priest, and offer for thy cleansing those things which Moses commanded for a testimony unto them. Now somebody reading that, they would not understand, because somebody in the church is reading that, they might say, well, why did the Lord tell him to go away, or go to the priest, or to offer the stuff to cleanse, and all, these things, but this because they were taught that they're not supposed to go back to the old again. But Yahushua himself, as you can see here, it was where seeing the red writing is the Messiah speaking. He says, see thou say nothing to any man, but go thy way, show thyself to the priest, and offer for thy cleansing those things which Moses commanded for the testimony unto them. So Yahushua himself, he was telling me, go back to the old, and the law, and let the law tell you, well, hey, what is required after the leprosy go and so forth, and what to offer up and so on, right? Now, to prove that, let's go to the law of the leprosy. Alright, so we'll go to Leviticus 13 and I'll start from verse 1 first. So this is Leviticus 13 verse, so from verse 2, it says, and when a man shall have in the skin of his flesh a rising, a scab or bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh like the plague of leprosy, then he shall be brought unto Aaron the priest, or unto one of his sons the priest, and the priest shall look on the plague in the skin of the flesh, and when the hair in the plague is turned white, and the plague in the side be deeper than the skin of his flesh, right? And the plague in side be deeper than the skin of his flesh, it is a plague of leprosy, and the priest shall look on him and pronounce him unclean, so he would be unclean, right? And it just shows that these churches really destroy the Lord flock, is that it actually have people in the churches with that dye the hair white, that you see the patches of the hair in the hair white and so forth. Hey, you see, and if the so this Leviticus 13 was going to show you that he would have been unclean, right? But it's looking for one precept here in 13. So let's jump to verse 8. It says, and if the priest see that, behold, the scab spreadeth in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean, it is leprosy. Right? So you can see that having leprosy would have made him what? Unclean. Would have made him unclean. Right? So going back into the Mark 1, right? Go back into the Mark 1. Going back to the Mark 1, you can see why in verse 41 the Lord tell him, and Yahushua moved with compassion and put forth his hand and touched him and said unto him, I will be thou clean. So he was made what? Clean. You understand? The Lord removed the leprosy and made him what? Clean, because the leprosy was gone. So if you had leprosy, he was deemed unclean, right? And the Lord so jump into verse 44, it says, and said unto him, see thou say nothing to any man, but go thy way, show thyself to the priest, and offer for thy cleansing those things which Moses commanded, right? So the cleansing, you jump to Leviticus 14. So this is Leviticus 14 verse 2. Start from verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, that is why Yahushua mentioned Moses, right? So you know you have to go back to the law. It said, this shall be the law of the leper. In the day of his cleansing, he shall be brought unto the priest. And the priest shall go forth out of the camp, and the priest shall look, and behold, if the plague of leprosy be healed in the leper, then shall the priest command to take for him that is to be cleansed 2 birds alive and clean, and cedar wood and scarlet and hyssop, right? So that when you read in the Mark 1, right? The Mark 1, where it tell you, it say, where Yahushua tell him, see thou say nothing to any man, but go thy way and show thyself to the priest. So the Lord tell him, go one time to the priest and show the priest that you're clean, that the leprosy gone. Right? And it say, and offer for thy cleansing those things which Moses commanded. So and he offered the thing to cleansing, which would have been what? The birds, the wood, the scarlet, and the hyssop, right? So the Lord himself quoted from the old, and he was following in the steps of the old. He didn't go contrary to what it is. You understand? That's why it's a precept upon precept, line upon line. Here a little and there a little. All these scriptures, all these precepts, all these scriptures, they bear witness to one another. That is why you could go to Mark 1:44, where Yahushua could say something, and it could go straight back to Leviticus, and you could see where it coincide with each other. You understand? But the churches teach different. Right? So it say, then shall the priest command to take for him that is to be cleansed 2 birds alive and clean, and cedar wood and scarlet and hyssop, and the priest shall command that one of the birds be killed in an earthen vessel over running water. Right? So you know what? I wouldn't go any more into it because I didn't even want to make the video so long. I wanted the video to be short and straight to the point. But hey, should the Holy Spirit hit here way you start to explore, you start to go, you make the video look. Hey, and there is just the Spirit, man. You can't stop the Spirit. You understand? So yeah, so you could see where when Yahushua mentioned the things to offer for the cleansing, those things which Moses commanded, you could see where you have to go. You can read Leviticus 13 and you can read Leviticus 14 of the law of leprosy. You understand? That we could turn to. So this will wrap it up for no, I should say number 1 of the series that the Lord quoted from the Old. You understand? And again, it will have many more videos to come. I say through the Spirit in my head, I could already think about some that I know I have to touch upon, especially the one where they were stoning the Lord. You understand? That is a heavy one as well. So hey, with that, again, when I give our praises to Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahushai Ba'asham Akakwadash, and we see them as apostles and elders of great Muslim and rule well. Our teachers, our elders in the truth, and we say salutations. So they come and say push one out truth and say day and day out. They don't continue season on season. We say shalom.